Power has a way of changing who answers your calls. Madame Kang learned that lesson slowly. Painfully. After her son was fired, disgraced, and pushed out of the world she once ruled through him, she did what she had always done. She blamed Nia. She told herself this was temporary. That men fall, but mothers endure. That her son would rise again. So she went looking for him. Besties, before we continue, let me ask you a question. Have you subscribed to our channel? If not, please do so to help this channel build a strong community and tell us where you are watching from in the comments section. To truly understand how we got here, how Nia Wright's world fell apart, how the divorce happened, and why she's heartbroken, you need to watch episode 1 first. I've dropped the link in the description box below. Start there or this story won't hit the way it's meant to. The house Yi-Min stayed in was nothing like the penthouses she once bragged about. A cramped place borrowed from a friend who avoided eye contact. When Madame Kang knocked, no one answered. She knocked again. Harder. Finally, the door opened. Yi-Min stood there thinner, older, hollowed out. "Why didn't you tell me?" she demanded, pushing past him. "Tell you what?" he asked flatly. "That you were living like this," she snapped. "That woman ruined you." He laughed. A sharp, bitter sound. "She didn't ruin me," he said. "She survived me." Madame Kang froze. "I raised you," she hissed. "Everything I did was for you." "No," he replied quietly. "You did it for yourself." The words landed heavier than any slap. She waited for sympathy. For comfort. For loyalty. Instead, he turned away. "I don't have anything left to give you," he said. "Not money, not protection, not lies." She left furious. Humiliated. Unseen. Days passed. Then weeks. Madame Kang called former friends. Old connections. Women who once bowed when she entered a room. The calls went unanswered. When she showed up uninvited, security didn't let her through. When she demanded respect, people pretended not to hear. Power, she realized too late, had never belonged to her. It had belonged to proximity. And proximity was gone. Her health began to fail quietly. Chest pain she ignored. Dizziness she dismissed. Sleepless nights, where her heart raced like it was trying to escape her body. One morning she collapsed. Alone. By the time help arrived, she was barely conscious. The ambulance lights cut through the city. Sirens screamed. They rushed her to the nearest hospital. The same hospital. The one Nia Kang worked in. Nia had just finished a 12-hour shift. She was exhausted. Her feet ached. Her mind was already on her children. Then the call came. "ER needs an experienced nurse," her supervisor said. "Critical condition, older female." Nia nodded. She didn't know. Not yet. Madame Kang drifted in and out of consciousness. Her chest burned. Her vision blurred. She thought she was dying. When she opened her eyes again, she saw a familiar face. Braided hair. Calm eyes. Steady hands. For a moment, she thought it was a hallucination. Then she saw the name badge. Nia Carter, RN. Reality slammed into her. "No," Madame Kang whispered. Nia froze. Recognition flashed across her face, but she didn't step back. Didn't react. Didn't flinch. She checked the monitors. Adjusted the IV. Professional. Controlled. Silent. "Please," Madame Kang croaked. "Don't let me die." Nia met her eyes. "You're stable," she said evenly. "Try to stay calm." The woman who once called her Baron began to sob. "I was wrong," Madame Kang said. "I was cruel, I was blind." Nia said nothing. "I destroyed my son," she continued, "and I destroyed you." Still, Nia worked. Still, Nia stayed composed. Finally, Madame Kang reached out with trembling fingers. "Forgive me," she begged. "Please bring him back, help him, he's my only son." Silence filled the room. Heavy. Unavoidable. Then Nia spoke. "I won't harm you," Nia said softly. "That's not who I am." Hope flickered in Madame Kang Wright's eyes. "But forgiveness doesn't mean undoing consequences." Her voice was steady. Clear. "I didn't take your son away. He walked away from me, from his children, from responsibility." Madame Kang Wright's lips trembled. "I'm not God," Nia continued. "I don't rewrite fate, I just live honestly with what happened." Tears streamed down the older woman's face. "I'm afraid," she whispered. Nia adjusted her pillow, checked her vitals, then said the words that ended everything. "So was I in that hospital bed, and you smiled." Madame King closed her eyes. She understood. Later that night, Nia stepped out of the room. Her hands shook for the first time in years. Not from anger. From release. She had faced the ghost, and it no longer haunted her. Madame King survived. But she left the hospital changed. Quieter. Smaller. Stripped of illusions. And for the first time in her life, she carried regret without anyone to unload it onto. When Yi-Min heard where his mother had been treated, he didn't call Nia. Yi-Min found out about his mother's hospitalization from a neighbor. Not a doctor. Not family. A neighbor who spoke awkwardly, like they didn't know whether to offer sympathy or distance. "She collapsed," the woman said. "They took her to the city hospital." The city hospital. His chest tightened. There was only one reason that name felt heavy. He waited 3 hours before calling. 3 hours of packing. 3 hours of rehearsing words that wouldn't come out right. When she answered, her voice was weaker than he remembered. "Mother," he said quietly. Silence. Then a breath. "So you heard," Madame King said. "What happened?" he asked. "Why didn't you call me?" A bitter laugh escaped her lips. "And tell you what," she replied, "that I needed money you don't have." The words cut deeper than accusation. He swallowed. "How bad is it?" "They say I'll recover," she said. "Eventually." Another pause. "I was treated by your ex-wife." His grip tightened on the phone. "Nia," he whispered. "She owns the hospital," Madame King said, "and she still worked her shift. She was the nurse assigned to me." His heart pounded. "And the bill?" he asked carefully. Another silence. "She refused to charge me." His knees buckled and he sat down. "She said it wasn't about punishment," his mother continued. "She said healing should never be transactional." Yi-Min closed his eyes. "I had to use my credit card for everything else," Madame King added. "Medication, follow-ups, I'll be paying it off for years." For the first time, she sounded old. "Yi-Min," she said suddenly, "we should go to her." He stiffened. "What?" "We should beg," she said. "Ask her to forgive us. She's powerful now, a leader. A woman like that can choose mercy." "No," he said immediately. "She won't." "You don't know that," Madame King insisted. "Yes, I do," he snapped. "I broke her heart, I humiliated her, I walked away from my children." His voice dropped. "She will never forgive me." Madame King said nothing. For once, she had no argument. The next morning, Nia was tying her son's shoes when one of the girls spoke up. "Mommy," she said softly, "where does Daddy live?" The question froze the room. "I want to see him," another child added, "just once." Nia knelt slowly. "You see him during visits," she said gently. "But not his house," the boy said. "I want to surprise him." The word surprise landed heavy. Nia hesitated. Every instinct told her to protect them. But another part of her, the part that believed truth mattered, knew hiding reality wouldn't serve them forever. "Okay," she said finally, "but just for a little while." The children cheered. She exhaled. She didn't tell Yi-Min right away. She waited until the day of her shift. When she finally called, his voice cracked when he heard her name. "We're coming by," she said calmly. "The kids want to see where you live." He panicked. "You don't have to." "They're already excited," she interrupted. "Don't take that from them." He gave her the address. Ashamed. The building was old. Paint peeling. Stairs narrow. No doorman. The children grew quiet. Nia's chest tightened. When Yi-Min opened the door, he looked startled. Thinner. Tired. The apartment was small. Sparse. No toys. No photos. The children looked around, confused. "This is Daddy's house," one whispered. He forced a smile. "Yes." Nia said nothing. She didn't need to. The truth spoke for itself. After a moment, she broke the silence. "Let's go eat," she said. "The kids are hungry." He blinked. "You don't have to." "I want to," she said, "for them." They walked together. Awkward. Careful. At the restaurant, the children filled the table with laughter. They talked about school, about cartoons, about dreams. Yi-min watched them like he was memorizing something sacred. When the food came, he didn't touch his plate. "Nia," he said quietly, "I'm sorry." She didn't answer right away. The children laughed. Time stretched. "I'm not here for apologies," she said finally. "I'm here for clarity." "I know I don't deserve another chance," he whispered. "But seeing them, it reminded me of everything I lost." She met his eyes. "The children didn't ask to be part of your lesson," she said. "Don't make them responsible for your redemption." He nodded. Tears welled. "I'll do better," he said, "even if it's from far away." The children reached for his hands. And in that moment, something fragile began. Not forgiveness, but connection. The day after the visit, Nia couldn't focus. She stood at the nurse's station, staring at a chart she had already read twice. The numbers blurred, the words refused to settle. Her body was present. Her mind was not. The image wouldn't leave her. The children's laughter. The small apartment. The look on Yimin's face when his son asked why his house didn't have toys. Something in her chest felt tight. Unfinished. She tried to ignore it. She checked vitals. Adjusted IVs. Answered questions. But the feeling followed her. By mid-morning, she stopped pretending. "I need to step out," she told her supervisor, "just for a bit." She walked outside, the cold reminder of reality hitting her face. She leaned against the wall and admitted the truth to herself. There was something she needed to ask. Something she had carried for years. And if she didn't release it now, it would rot inside her. She called him that afternoon. Yimin answered on the second ring. "Yes," his voice was cautious, hopeful, afraid. "Meet me tonight," she said. "Dinner, public place." His breath caught. Of course, whatever you want." "This isn't a date," she added calmly. "I just need answers." "I understand," he said quickly. "I'll be there." The restaurant was quiet, elegant, neutral ground. No romance. No softness. Just space for truth. When he arrived, he looked nervous. His hands shook as he pulled out the chair. They sat across from each other. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Nia broke the silence. "Why?" she asked. One word. Sharp. Final. He swallowed. "Why did you do it?" she continued. "Why could you stand there after I nearly died, after I gave birth to 4 children, and hand me divorce papers?" His eyes dropped to the table. "I didn't believe in you," he said. The honesty startled even him. "I believed you would always stay where you were," he continued quietly. I thought you needed me to survive." Nia's jaw tightened. "And my mother," he added quickly. "She was in my ear every day, telling me you were holding me back, that I deserved more, that a woman like you would never elevate me." He clenched his fists. "The papers, they were real," he admitted. "But the decision wasn't clean. I hesitated. I panicked. I listened to the wrong voice." Silence hung heavy. "And the woman you left me for?" Nia asked. He laughed bitterly. "She left me." Nia looked up. "The moment I lost my job," he continued. "She disappeared, drained accounts, laundered money through shell companies." He shook his head. "She's in prison now." Nia didn't react. Just listened. "I didn't want to bring this to the children," he said quickly. "They don't need to know the ugliness of it all." She nodded slowly. For the first time, she believed him. He leaned forward. "I don't expect forgiveness," he said. "I don't expect a second chance." Then his voice cracked. "I just want to be their father." Her breath hitched. "Just one day," he added quickly. "Let me pick them up from school, take them somewhere simple, be normal." She studied him. "You don't have a car," she said flatly, "and my children don't move without security." "I know," he said. "I can use yours." She hesitated. "Long." Then, "Only this once," she said. His eyes widened. "Thank you." The next afternoon, Yimin stood beside Nia's car. Clean, expensive, armored. When he opened the door, something caught his eye. A photo. Old. Him and Nia. Smiling. Before everything broke. It was tucked into the dashboard. Carefully placed. He froze. She noticed. "You never took it out," he whispered. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. At the school gate, The children ran toward him. "Daddy." They wrapped their arms around his legs like they had been waiting forever. He knelt, holding them like they might vanish. Security watched. Nia stood back, letting the moment breathe. At the restaurant, the children talked nonstop. Yimin listened. Really listened. When they finished eating, one of them reached for his hand. "Can you come again?" He looked at Nia. She met his gaze. "This depends on you," she said quietly. "Consistency, growth, no excuses." He nodded. "I'll do the work," he promised, "even if it takes years." She stood. "Good," she said, "because I'm not raising broken men." That night, Nia sat alone. The house quiet. The photo still in her mind. She realized something. Love hadn't died. It had been wounded. And wounds don't heal with words. They heal with time, humility, and change. At first, Yimin was careful in a way that felt fragile. Like a man walking across cracked ice, aware that one wrong step would send him back into isolation. He never missed a pickup. Never showed up late. Never raised his voice. When the children spoke, he listened, not to respond but to understand. When Nia spoke, he didn't interrupt. That alone told her more than any apology ever could. Months passed. Then more. No declarations. No dramatic gestures. Just consistency. And consistency, Nia knew, was the rarest form of remorse. One evening, after the children had gone to bed, Yimin stood in the kitchen, hands wrapped around a mug he hadn't touched. "I need to tell you something," he said quietly. Nia didn't look up right away. She let the silence stretch. "Go on." He swallowed. "I used to think power meant control," he admitted, "that whoever held the leverage won." She turned slowly. "And now? Now I know power is restraint," he said, "and accountability." His voice trembled. "I wake up every day afraid I'll lose this again." She studied him. "That fear," she said calmly, "is what keeps you honest." It was weeks later when she called him into her office. The one overlooking the city. The one he had never stepped into without permission. He stood where she gestured. Waiting. She didn't rush. She never rushed anymore. "You've done the work," she said eventually, quietly, without expectation. He nodded. "I didn't know if it would ever matter." "It does," she replied. She slid a folder across the desk. He didn't open it right away. Fear flickered across his face. "Read it," she said. His hands shook as he did. His breath left him in a sharp, broken sound. "I don't understand," he whispered. "I bought the firm back," Nia said. "Every asset, every contract." He looked up stunned. "I'm not handing it to you," she continued. "I'm rebuilding it with you under supervision." Her gaze sharpened. "You will earn every inch of authority, and the moment you forget who you were when you lost everything, this ends." Tears slid down his face. "Thank you," he said. "No," she corrected gently. "This isn't kindness, this is responsibility." The first thing he did was not return to power. He went to the bank, then the hospital billing office. He paid every cent of his mother's debt, set up permanent health insurance, cleared interest. Then he sat across from her at a small table. No raised voices. No manipulation. "You are taken care of," he said firmly, "but you no longer control anything." She nodded, humbled. "And the children. You see them when invited," he said. "You respect their mother." Tears streamed down Madame Kang's face. "I destroyed everything," she whispered. "Yes," he replied, "but it ends with me." The day she finally stood before Nia again, her posture was different. Smaller. Less certain. "I wronged you," Madame Kang said. "Not because I feared you, but because I underestimated you." Nia looked at her for a long time, then said quietly, "I forgive you, but forgiveness is not permission." Madame Kang bowed deeply. That was enough. The final conversation happened late at night. Rain tapping softly against the windows. The children asleep. Nia sat on the edge of the bed. Yimin stood near the door. "I don't want to ask for what I don't deserve," he said, "but I need to know." She met his eyes. "Know what?" "If there's a future," he said, "not because of the past, but because of who I'm becoming." She exhaled slowly. "You broke me once," she said, "and I rebuilt myself without you." He nodded. I know. And I will never again be a woman who survives someone, she continued. If we walk forward, it's as equals. Tears filled his eyes. I don't want to own you, he said. I want to stand beside you. She reached for his hand. And that was the reunion. Not fireworks. Not passion. But peace. Years later, people would tell the story wrong. They would call it revenge. They would call it luck. They would call it power. But Nia knew the truth. This story was never about money. It was about choice. And the courage to change when the cost was everything. On the wall of her office, beneath her name, one sentence remained. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing growth over pain. And character over